Hi everybody, thanks for coming on here. I am going to first start off with showing you what I did on my own time, not in front of a live camera or a live audience. I did this to kind of practice for what I want to do today. And as you can see, I've got a sun up here and a star up here. But the reason those are out of the picture is that this is an animated illustration. And tonight I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And it's basically showing you what I animated on my drawing, which is simply the sun and the stars and then a little bit of mist in the background. And this drawing is probably about 80% finished. I plan on doing more details on the wings and probably more details on her face and collar and her dress. The background and the trim at the bottom is pretty well done. I notice I have a few kind of weird things to clean up here. I don't know how that happened, but so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start drawing in a moment on a new project. I will try and check the comments regularly to see who stopped by. And I think we're going to start with this one. I'll turn that off, add a new layer, and bring this down. This doesn't actually seem like it's at the right. I thought I had this set up right. Let's go to inches. Let's go to 9. Width is 9. Height is 16. And I'm going to make it 300 pixels per inch. Okay. Okay. Now I've got it. It makes a lot more sense to me, this size. It works for iPhone screens and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Make sure I've hit the edges here. Okay. Done. There we go. So there's not a lot going on yet. I'm just going to do a quick, I notice a lot of people joined here, so let me just show you what the goal is tonight on my practice drawing that is 80% complete. I'm going to basically go over how to draw this and put in some background details. I'm going to get as far as I can tonight. But then this one, I also went that extra step and I added some animated features. So I will go ahead and show you that. And so it's just the sun and stars and a little bit of mist in the background is all I have animated. Oh, I also have a small version of the earth right there that is also animated. So I'm going to go back over here to, hi Rigoberto, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to go back over here and get started on a drawing from scratch. I practiced on another drawing, but I haven't done an underdrawing here, so you'll see all the mistakes as I go. That's the fun part of live, is those mistakes. Alrighty. I might adjust my camera here a little bit because I just realized I'm not in a very comfortable position for drawing. And I also, I'll get started now, but I also did a little research on angels. And the angel that I'm going to draw is not particularly, I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want the parts of this angel. Maybe do the chin there, neck down here. We'll do the shoulders, the bodice, the waist. Okay. So I'm just going to go above that, and this I'm going to just, this is a really basic way to get myself going. I'm just going to bring those layers way down so they're not distracting, and then I'm going to start drawing now. Oh, one of the great tricks that I love to use that is a benefit of doing this on an iPad, it makes the drawing twice as fast, which is helpful when I'm on live. It just helps people see the whole big picture quicker, is to use the symmetry. It doesn't work on all designs, but it's going to work great on this one. So I will be using the symmetry button. So here we go. Oh, on the wrong layer. There we go. I'm going to bring the size of this down. Those eyebrows are pretty fierce. Let's try that again. Now they're a little bit thin. Okay. We'll go up to about a 9, 8.5, 9 right in there on our size of our pen tip. So I planned for my chin to be here, so these eyes might be a tiny bit big. So I'm just gonna bring them down a little bit, put them back in the center there. Okay. Definitely one of the advantages of being able to draw with a digital program. Oh, that's interesting what happened there. That's not actually how I meant it to be. And what I did on the last couple of drawings, not sure I like that. Overall, looking at the size, looks okay. A little shadow there. I'm not sure that's the right shape for the top of her head. There we go. Okay. I'll come back and work on the, I definitely think I want to get this chin the way I want it, but I'll work on the hair and the ears in a bit. I kind of want to get her body set here. So this angel is I call it traditional, but it's really not traditional at all, because I'm making this with female features, and A lot of angels were either were not male or female, or if they were depicted historically, they were depicted a lot um, in the Christian faith or history were depicted as male, and they were quite fierce. And then there's some others. I'm actually going to go through and read a list when I need a break. I'm going to do some reading for you, giving you a little bit of information on angels in general across history. Okay, so here we want to have the neckline, we'll have the arm and the chest and a waist there. I don't want to get too tall with her because I want to have kind of an extra long gown. So we're just going to take that gown all the way down like this. Okay, and then I'm going to have her with some rather large, let me start that again. Let's just go all the way down. Rather large sleeves. Sometimes when I notice I've done a little extra mark there, I try and tidy them up as I go. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes I get in a hurry and I don't tidy up at all. Okay, now I am going to do a little erasing. And then there's a tool here called a magic wand that allows me to just grab those two lines and erase them. Okay. So we'll go up here and I'm just going to have her fingers just sort of just barely coming out of that's her thumb. I'm second guessing the size of my line right now. Feels a little thick. Let's see if we can keep going though. I'd rather not change. So forefinger here, not quite touching. Middle finger, we'll have those run into each other. Again, shorter here, and the little finger. Okay, that works except the thumbs are too long compared to the rest of the fingers. Now what I might go in here and do is grab a little more white space. And isn't it nice how it's doing it on both sides? I don't have to draw everything twice. Definitely a benefit to digital. And for anybody who's joined me here, sometimes I draw, pen on paper because I just think it's really good to have your skills up at that level where you can draw pen on paper live and there's no erasing. But this, of course, is such a great tool. And I kept erasing there, and I should have quit, but so we're going to go for it now. We're going to go all the way down. All right, there we go. Okay, that's starting to look a little bit better. And then I'm going to map out, well, let's get this hair done here. So I want the hair to come over the top of her ears. I'm just going to have the earlobe show here a little bit. Okay, that's going to do what I want it to do now. I'm just going to check the comments real quick. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Thanks for the thumbs up. Glistine the Great. Hey, yeah, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Just do a little cleanup here. Whoops, too much cleanup. Okay. And actually, we'll just tidy this up here so that I have a little bit more freedom with how I make this hair come down. Okay. So far, so good. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I'm going to turn off this layer. I'll just actually delete that layer. I don't need those lines anymore. And now we've got to add some, I think I'll just add a little bit more gown here. Oops, let's go back to the right layer. And then here we go with some wings. So the wings, her hair is going to be floating in front of the wings. I might change that down there after I start detailing out how the feathers are going to go. But we'll just start with the feathers. Like this. It's really nice that I can move the screen around while people are watching, because moving this around the way you would have to move a piece of paper around to get the angle that you want would be really, it'd be hard to watch and hard for me to manipulate the paper with the camera. And okay, we're just doing a little cleanup here as we go. I don't want to get too picky. I can get too picky sometimes, but just clean that up a little bit. Okay, back to, so shall I go all the way? I think I will. We're going to go all the way with this. Oops, there I go again. Wow, the wind has really come up outside of my house. Okay, so what I'm going to do a little switching here for that same reason I was just talking about. Why did it do that? Oh, okay. Okay, so far this is what we have going on. All right. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate the hello, the views. Love to have new subscribers. Would love to have some from this live podcast, or I'm sorry, live stream. Okay, so I think what we're going to do here is we're going to add some details here to this. Oops, too much. Kind of like a rope. Okay, and I like to make like sort of like oh, the sewers out there can tell me what this is. It's gathered, and there's probably a term that's specific to what I'm trying to create here visually. So you let me know if you know the name of this kind of a gathered bodice, maybe. leave that last line off. Okay. And then here we've got to add some, I like to add like a nice necklace. And what I've done before sometimes is I'll do a heart and then I'll keep going and I'll do a heart in the other direction. And then we'll do some circles on the side. Let me do these again. Maybe bring this down a tiny bit in size. I wonder if it's my brush keeps bleeding, like, no, I've just got a typical round. Okay. All right, it's just surprising me a little bit tonight. Nothing. I want to fit 3 in. So I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to use the eraser to create that 3rd space, that 3rd circle. There we go. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the thumbs up. Okay, so I'm going to depict where the globe is here. So we get that established. And I'm going to use my circle tool. And interesting. I've had this problem before where, let me look at the overall. Let me move that, move that. Look at the overall for size. I want to fit a globe in here, and it's making me want to move these arms down just a little bit. So I think I'm going to do that. And so let me show you how you do that. We're just going to grab a magic wand here, and oops, no, we're not. We're not going to use a magic wand. We're going to use a lasso. And I'm going to go all the way over to the sleeve right there. Whoops, I didn't. Cancel that one. Let's start again. Let me see. Now that still looks proportionally correct. Done. Great. Deselect. And here, I think I actually want to, I was feeling like I was making her a little too narrow. So I think I want to fix that. So I'm going to do a little fixing now. I'm just going to dive in and do some fixing. Thanks for stopping by. So right here, I'm going to make her bodice a little bit wider. I don't want my lines actually cutting off the space because I want color to flow all through this later. So I'm going to go back here and do a little cleanup. Okay, how does that look? Okay, that looks better. She's a little bit straighter. Okay, it's starting to feel like I've got the overall details more where I want them. Let's put that circle back. And I am going to, I'm going to duplicate this layer and I'll show you why later. So let's duplicate and we'll put this up here. And then on this layer, all by itself, I'm going to add this globe. And right now, the globe is actually, it's not straight. Let's make it straight. Here, let's move it over here. Make it straight first. Very weird. Okay, how about, very interesting problem. So I'm on this layer, I'm going to make this globe just a simple, whoops, simple circle. Okay, and then on this layer, I'm just gonna do a placeholder color for the moment. I'm gonna end up doing this a different color, but I'm just for now gonna put in kind of a cream color on these sleeves right here. Oops, I need my bucket fill. Take my circle away. Oh, I see what's happening. Why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. And then back here is, I'll just go with a lighter version of that. Back here is the skirt, and then here is the globe, and let's go with a light blue version on the globe. Okay. And also her fingers are, I like to make, when I do an angel, I don't want to do, you know, a typical skin color. So we're going to go with an aqua today. And then I'll go down here and we'll add some aqua to her skin. Okay, so we're getting our layers sorted. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, kind of like to, I'm not going to keep going on that because I also want to add in some of the other elements that we're going to do. And on my other drawing, I put sort of roses and viney things in the corner, so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And we will start with I'm going to go back and grab the black. I'll go really big here so you can see how I do a simple rose shape that's not really very realistic, but it gives the indication of a rose. And then I'm going to encapsulate all of it with, let me try that again, with a line that goes around the outside. Okay, and then we'll do a couple more. Okay, so we've got those happening on both corners. And what layer did we put those on? We put them on this layer. I think I'm going to go back here and add some vines. Like I said, I didn't do a pre-drawing, so this could go sideways. Sometimes Adobe takes over. It thinks it knows what you want to do with your line and it changes your line. I don't really appreciate that. Always. Okay, so that, oops. Oops. I'm really winging it here. All right, we're going to do a little bit of cleanup. Oh, I'm liking that. I like that. That's okay. Okay with me. And we might add a few leaves here and there just so we can get some other colors in down here. Well, if we're going to do roses, let's make them rose leaves. Okay, so right there, I've added a little bit of change to how I'm going to detail out this. We're just going to add some lines indicating. It's not actually the way I like to draw them, and I'm gonna fix a couple things here. It'll mean a lot more filling, but that's okay, because I want the drawing to look the way I want the drawing to look. It's not all about trying to make it fast for the audience. No offense. Let me check the comments really quick. Okay, thank you. Do a little cleanup here. Okay, give you an overview of the whole drawing so far. Okay. So I think I'll just go ahead and, oh, we've got to add some, get on the right layer here with the wings. And we'll add some wing details underneath. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do some more filling here with my bucket to start with. I'm going to go with blue for the wings. And let's move a little bit over to a green and see what happens. And a little bit more of a gray, green gray. Whoops. It filled something I didn't want it to fill. What did it fill? Okay, we're not going to make it perfectly symmetrical. I kind of like that not matching, and I'm going to do the same thing here. And notice they've got a palette starting here, which is very nice. It's almost symmetrical, but not quite. Okay. So I'm going to go over to the purple family for her dress. How do I like that? Oh. Yeah, I think I like that. I may go with a deeper though. I need my palette. I'm going to choose that light blue there. Then we'll go with the darker blue. And maybe the darker green. Oh, I see what happened. Those, just a moment. Here we go. Let's fill those lines back up. Those lines accidentally were turned the wrong color. Okay, we fixed that now. Okay, so I think we'll grab those blues and fill in this rope pattern. Wow, it's wild and windy out there. Outside, it's so fun. So if the screen goes blank on my end, it's probably because the power got knocked out. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Thanks for stopping by. We're drawing a traditional angel today, and tomorrow I'm going to draw some non-traditional angels. Oh, it's interesting what happened here. I had a couple of the... It's not exactly what I wanted. I did not want those to go black. So I had a little bit of an error happen. So finish my sentence. Tomorrow I will be drawing sort of non-traditional. I mean, they're traditional because they're historically described in documents from the past. But when you think of an angel nowadays, usually, you know, a lot of times you picture like Gabriel or a female angel with a horn, a trumpet. And so that's sort of where I'm going with this. But there are so many other kinds of imagery that can come from the descriptions of angels. So I have a little problem here in that I accidentally filled some things black. And I'm going to go here to this layer and I'm going to cover on top of them with the bucket fill. Let's go with the green here. Okay, that's more where I wanted to go. I am going to go monotone with her hair. Just go with various shades of gray. We'll even go with black back here. Not a full black. We want it to be just a little bit different. So if I want to change the color later, I can. Once I go black, it'll blend with that line there, and it'll permanently stay that way. So I don't want to do that. Okay, so we could do that darker color there. And then maybe we'll go with the lightest gray here. Go back here to the skin tone, which I think is this. Just check the comments real quick. Thanks for stopping by. Interesting. Just trying to fix a little error here. Okay. So I'm on this layer here. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, it's okay. I've got things on a couple different layers there. Oops. So I might grab this face right here Oops, cancel. It's a little bit more than what I wanted. Let's go back to the lighter color. Where is it? Is that it? No, that's it. There we go. Thanks for stopping by. We're drawing somewhat traditional angel, and I'm just working out my colors right now. So I think I'm going to go to the background now. And let's first fill it in with a nice dark blue, midnight blue. And then on top of that, let's find a gold. In a dry brush. Top is the dry brushes. I like the rakes. Been using those a lot lately. We'll just go with a big rake. I'm going to make it really big. 402 is really big. And then, oh, I've got my symmetry button on. Let me turn off my symmetry button for the moment. These will all get filled in over the top. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab that same dark blue I started with and rake over the top of. So now I can kind of carve out, sculpt out where I want to create the contrast. Okay. Now there was a step that I forgot to do, and that was when I had the drawing all done as a black and white drawing, I was thinking about I could actually do it with this one. I could duplicate this. I'm going to do that, duplicate. What I want to do is I want to create a background behind the angel that has sort of has the ability to glow a little bit. And so the way I'm going to do that is this layer. First of all, turn off these layers. Turn off. Turn off. So we're just looking at this layer on the top and the background. And I'm going to start filling it with, I'm going to just fill it with a white, I think, or actually just an off-white. Go to the golds, go just a little bit off-white. Okay. I'm not too concerned about what's in the middle. I am concerned about what's around the edges. So if anything's close to the edge, I'm going to turn it white. It's kind of slow. This filling, you'd think it would be quicker than this. We'll see what it gets and what it doesn't if I just go fast. Okay, none of this really matters here. In fact, I could just go ahead and do this. Let me do this. This will be a lot quicker than filling at this point. We'll go as big as we can. All I really want is a white outline of what I've drawn on the other layers that I turned off. All right, now we've got it. And I'm going to turn symmetry on so that I make sure I keep this in the center. And I'm going to grab the whole thing, make it just slightly bigger. Put it back in the middle. And then I'm going to start turning these layers on. Oh, done. Turn that on. Whoops. So now I'll take this layer and put it all the way here behind. And so now we have this little bit of a white outline, and that's all I was really after, was that little bit of a white outline. And I'll show you in a moment why I did that. Let's go to this color here and go with the light. Just fill in a couple more things, and then I'm going to show you how to make that glow happen with the animation. I want the light purple back here. Okay, so we've got her pretty well filled in. So now I am going to close that, go here. I will go to the background layer, that white layer I just created, and I'm going to choose sparkle, which that's way too much. I don't want that much. Oh, I notice I'm also accidentally sparkling her necklace. That's interesting so I'm going to bring the percentage down. That's interesting to discover that. Now it's smaller than she is, so I'm going to bring it back up just a little. And then I can move this down to 1, and it should slow it down a little bit. Let's see here, settings. We're going to take this down to 6. So it slows it down quite a bit. I can always speed it up later, but for right now, that's all I wanted to do, was show you how you can create a glowing background. Okay. I'm going to go back here to this layer, and we'll just go ahead and fill in some of these some of these vines and roses. Let's choose a brown. Oh, I didn't continue that. I can fix that though, but we'll go ahead and finish this. Okay, the way that I'm going to fix that, because I've got this as sort of like a gnarly twisting, I've just a little bit of a detail there for gnarly twisting vine. It's not too detailed, but I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of it to look like that. And the way I'll do it is I just stay right on this layer, and I'm going to, whoa, change the size of my brush down to maybe 6. So then what I'll do is, so that's happened on both sides. So I'll just go ahead and find my bucket fill again, go to my palette, choose that lighter brownie gold, and I will do every other. And I'll do the same thing over here. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I accidentally filled the lines instead of the spaces in between the lines. Interesting. What did I do over there? Oh, they don't have to match exactly, do they? Huh. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, no problem. We'll let it be. And we'll grab that dark green that we did in her eyes and add that here. And then I'm just sort of blocking in color right now because I could definitely go with a lot more detail out all of these. But I kind of like to work all across it and then come back and detail things out. Okay. Go with that lighter pink right there. And we'll just add a little highlight. Now this should be happening on both sides. There we go. Okay, that did happen on both sides. And I'm looking at this and thinking I want to have more contrast down there between the golds, and so I might go back to this layer and add the blue rake again down here. Yeah, I don't know if that's enough. I can hit the back button here, but what happens if we add some black? Aha, there we go. We'll just add a little bit of black here and there. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple of the things that I showed in the very beginning, which if you came by later, you might not have seen this, but I'm going to use the circle tool again up here. I'm going to do a special layer that is behind her, but in front of the detail, the layered background. And now go up here, I'm going to draw this outside of the picture. It's going to be an animation. And we'll go with the vector lines. We'll put that away and we'll fill it. And then actually, I'm going to bring that back again. And I'm going to do another line here. So the way I'm going to do this is pretty loose, pretty unplanned, which I kind of love. I think I'm actually going to redo this a little bit. Same here. Okay. Why not? Oh. Let's turn symmetry off for a second. Why can't you fill that region? So odd. That's the layer I'm on. Oh, I see, because it's outside. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I have to have it inside my drawing zone in order to fill it. So we'll just go ahead and put it up here in the corner. And then we'll go ahead and, oops, that didn't work. Why is that not working? Okay, so what I've got going on here is I've got something that's not completely connected because the paint is spilling outside of it. So I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to grab that same color and I'm going to check for holes. There's a hole. There's a hole, but that one doesn't matter. Here's a hole. Okay. Let's bring it back inside and let's fill again, see if we can do it without it spilling everywhere. Hooray! Okay, I think we've got it now. Okay, so I'm still on this layer and I want to add some rays. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to animate this in just a minute after I get the rays on here, using a really simple animation tool here on Adobe Fresco. Okay, so there's a couple ways that I can animate this. Wow. Is the wind sound coming across to you on the wind is just blowing out here. it's like making my windows creak. It's hitting the windows so hard. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I'm about to animate that sun. It's on its own layer all by itself. And I am going to make sure I'm on that layer. And then I am going to hit path. Path was right here. It opened up this thing called effects. And all I'm going to do is hit the rotate button. And then add spin. And you can see the sun is now spinning. Now another thing, I can do it counterclockwise if I want to. Now it's spinning the other way. And I can add, I'm going to go back to path. And it might be hard for you to see this, but there should an X should appear with a dotted line. Okay, that was not it. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just okay, so the problem is that I've got two, so we'll get rid of that one. There we go. So now I've got a sun that's orbiting, and I'm going to hit play all. Let's see. How about if I go here and I hit play all? So now you see what I created before was a glow behind her, and I have an orbiting sun. And I'm going to hit pause on that. I'm going to go in here to this one, and I'm going to add another layer on top of it. So something to learn about this motion button is you can't mix vector and pixel layers. You have to merge them together and make them one or the other. And usually if you merge a pixel onto a vector layer, it automatically makes it a pixel layer. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to add a pixel watercolor. I wonder if I can choose that, yes, and then go to that layer, choose my watercolor. I'm going to choose a fairly strong blue. I'm going to go to this layer above it, make my line bigger. Okay. I might add in, I'll probably build these layers up. So add another layer on top of there, and I'll do a little bit darker watercolor here and there. And then I'm going to add one more layer on top of that. I'll bring this brush down a little bit, and I want to add atmosphere. So I'm going to add atmosphere with white. And I'm going to stop selecting, deselect, and I'm going to actually add some atmosphere around the outside. I might need to make these sleeves disappear, so I make sure, yes, okay. So undo, undo. Redo. There we go. So now I'm going to take all of these layers and then merge them into one. Down here, come on, down you go, down you go. And then merge layers into a group. Now I can animate this, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the sun, except I'm not going to orbit it. So what I'll do right now is just hit path, and those are my effects right here. And I'll just say spin right there. Okay, so what I'm noticing is that the atmosphere is a little weird. I just can't thought of an idea, so I'm going to hit pause and then turn off that part. Come back here, grab the eraser, and we'll just do a little bit of erasing. I think you'll notice those little things if I don't get rid of them. So I just thought of something else I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back on spin and see if it looks a little bit better. Oops. Play all. Still a little weird. I think I'm going to have to turn the sleeves off so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Go back to this layer, use the eraser. Use the watercolor. Oh, that was interesting. Add a layer, use the watercolor. There we go. Okay, so on this layer, I am going to make an atmosphere that will rotate differently. So it's going to rotate in the opposite direction. And let's see what happens when I do that. Okay, so this one is on its own layer. I'm going to rotate it, spin. Okay, pause, close this, and then let's play all. Okay, so they're both spinning the same direction. So let me open that up and let's do counterclockwise, play all. Okay, so they're going different directions now. It's kind of hard to see, but you can notice it a little bit. Now I'm going to turn our sleeves back on. I guess I have to pause it to do that. Turn our sleeves back on, play all. Okay, that's feeling a little bit more like she could actually be holding the earth. That's kind of what I was going for. All right, so another thing that I was going to add, and I'll do this in front of this layer, but behind the sun. I'm going to hit pause, and I want to add some mist. So it's going to have to go here, behind the sun, in front of the texture layer of the background. And I'm going to use the watercolor again. I'm going to make it really big. I'm going to see if it'll let me watercolor out here. It won't. Okay, so I've got a watercolor in here. Okay, so I've got a little mist right here, and I'm going to add a path for the mist. I'm going to start it here and have it go all the way up there. And then I am going to add multiples of that and scatter them. And then I'm also going to make them more random so you can't pick the pattern up so easily. And then I'm going to close this. Why does that not want to close? There we go. Whoops. So we can see this, and I will pause, and then I'm going to play all. This is my celestial angel guarding the world. And this is sort of in honor of the solstice, the time of year we're coming upon. And I think that's where I'm going to end tonight. I'm probably going to go back in here and do a lot of detail. I'll probably, actually, let me show you a couple of my other drawings before we stop. And I also want to show you that this program will, I'm going to preview the time lapse. It does a time lapse of everything I've drawn, and it shows you from the beginning. I roughed out where I wanted everything to be, and then I started drawing the details of the outline. I do admit that I practiced this drawing a couple times before I did it live, because it's kind of hard to accomplish a good drawing without a little practice ahead of time. And that brings us up to pretty much where we are. I'm going to be right back. I need a mouse here. Because I want to read you something. I am going to also stop. I'm going to hit play on this, play all, so that you can see what we've accomplished in this drawing. And I am going to, excuse me for going in front of you. Trying to get my mouse set up here so I can read to you. There we go. So I did some research on angels last night. I mean, I've been drawing this similar style angel for many years. I've used them on Christmas cards and so forth. But I'm not a particularly religious person. I was raised in a Catholic, but I don't really practice at all anymore. And no offense to anyone on that, but I've kind of launched into learning about other religions and cultures and traditions. And so I did a little bit of research, and I want to read you some of the things I found. So in the Western religion, we have in Western religion, Christianity, we have several kinds of angels, but there's also older cultures, Zoroastrian angels, which will go all the way back to Persian times. We have Islamic angels, Jewish angels, and then there's also Hinduism has devas, Japanese Buddhism has tenin, Mesopotamia has winged genies. There's just so many of these, whoops, I didn't mean for it to go dark. So many of these different kinds of angels and celestial beings. So today I did a drawing of a fairly recognizable modern slash modern traditional. I don't know. I almost want to call it, like transitional. It's very feels very traditional, but it's actually not traditional at all, because if I were to go to Western religions, most of the angels were depicted as male if they had a human form. They were, as far as I know, never depicted as female. That's been in more recent times that angels have been depicted as female, which is like, yeah, right on. Why not? And then the other thing that you don't see in any depictions of angels is, and this is like going from the Western historical Bible um, interpretations, or just, imagery that's conjured up by reading Bible verses, you can find some really crazy creatures. And I'm probably going to draw one of them tomorrow. So there were seraphim. I'm going to read this part. These are the highest ranking angels in Christianity, often depicted as fiery beings with 6 wings. They're closest to God, continuously singing, "Holy, holy, holy," to honor divine glory. They symbolize purity and divine love. There's also cherubim, guardians of sacred spaces such as the Garden of Eden. They're described as multi-faced beings. For example, man, lion, ox, and eagle, signifying knowledge and protection. Now, that's not something you normally see when you picture an angel in your mind. You don't see a 4-headed creature with wings. Archangels, leaders among angels, performing missions directly affecting humanity. For example, Michael is a warrior protector, while Gabriel is the messenger of divine announcements. And then there are the 4th kind, which come from this Western religion tradition. And these are super interesting because they're really kind of crazy shaped. It's the thrones, dominions, virtues, and powers. And these groups maintain cosmic order and divine law. Thrones symbolize divine justice and carry out God's judgments. Dominions oversee other angels, ensuring harmony in heaven. Virtues perform miracles and guide humanity towards divine inspiration. And powers protect against spiritual and physical harm, acting as warriors. Like, super interesting stuff coming from the Western traditions in my mind. I'm just like, oh wow, I didn't know that. So the thrones, I think, let me go down here to the bottom. Yeah. So, and one of the things I listened to yesterday, oops, sorry, that went dark. They were talking about these really bizarre looking angels that nobody really talks about, and at least in anything that I ever heard. And so the angel described as an orb or ring covered with many eyes is known as Ophanim, also called wheels or thrones. This imagery comes from the Hebrew Bible, particularly in the book of probably mispronounce this, Ezekiel. Ezekiel's vision describes them as part of a divine chariot known as Merkabah. The Ophanim are depicted as large radiant wheels full of eyes all around their rims. These wheels move in perfect synchronization with the cherubim, guided by the Spirit of God. They are a striking symbol of omniscience and divine mobility. The term thrones is also used in Christian archaeology, angelology, where they are considered a high-ranking order in the celestial hierarchy. In addition to their appearance, the many eyes symbolize God's all-seeing wisdom and awareness. If you're drawing this angel, you might focus on glowing, interlocking wheels adorned with eyes and radiant divine light, an otherworldly yet awe-inspiring image. And so that's sort of my plan for tomorrow. I don't know, it might not be tomorrow because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to practice that drawing before I do it live. So I'm just going to go back here and read you a little bit more before we leave. So those were the Western angels, and then there's a Zoroastrian angel, which is well, this is still a Western angel. I think it's considered a Western angel or a Middle Eastern because it goes back to Persian times, representing virtues like truth and immortality. These beings assist Ahura Mazda, the supreme God, in maintaining universal balance. There's an Islamic angel called Malaika. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Include angels like Gabriel, who delivers divine messages, and Israfel, who heralds the day of judgment. These beings are central to Islamic cosmology and worship. Jewish angels, there is Metatron, I'm going to try that again. Often described in mystical traditions as a celestial scribe and mediator between God and humans. Sorry for my poor reading. Other cultural angelic figurines, divas, from Hinduism. Sometimes compared to angels, these beings represent natural forces and cosmic order. Tenin are Japanese, from Japanese Buddhism, celestial beings with wings who act as messengers or protectors. They're often depicted in elegant robes. Winged genies from Mesopotamia, protective spirits seen in Assyrian art, often depicted as winged figures guarding sacred spaces. These depictions, let's see if we've got any comments on this. I don't see any new comments. These depictions of angels reflect humanity's attempts to understand the divine, and it's, hi, Russian, how are you doing? These depictions of angels reflect humanity's attempt to understand the divine and its influence on the world. For more details, we're going to check out some resources later. And I think I have covered most of the angels that I could uncover in my research. And I'm going to, just before we leave here, I'm also going to, I'm going to stop this drawing, pause, and we'll go, I want to show you the practice drawings, because when people see my work, sometimes they don't know how much practice I've done. So tonight, I think I started on here at about 6:15, and I accomplished this drawing by about, I think it was about 8 o'clock, 5 to 8 maybe. So it was an hour and 45 minutes to do this, which is pretty fast for this drawing, for this much detail. But I want to show you what it took for me to get to this drawing. If I can, it's saving it. Okay, so here in my history, this was the first drawing I did, and that was early last evening. And I really got into doing a lot of details on this drawing of this angel. And I really like it. I didn't animate this one. I just wanted it as if I was doing a holiday card. What would I want it to look like? And so this is kind of where I went, and I detailed out the wings. I added a lot of details to the gown, and I will probably do that to the drawing that I just did tonight, but I'm getting tired and hungry, so I'm going to just show you one other drawing that I worked on, and that was to try out the practice on the animation, and it was this drawing. And again, I didn't get, hold on, was that the one I did tonight? That's the one I did tonight. Let me show you the other one. It was this drawing. So this drawing, I also did last night to practice. I didn't detail out the wings. I did work on the gown. And then I decided, oh, well, it would be really cool to have the sun spiraling. And so that's how I came up with my ideas for the animation. And I'll play this one because this one is animated. So I kind of like the mist on this one better. So I might change the path on the mist. Oh, and I added stars around her head to this one. Isn't that lovely? I forgot to do that on the one that I worked on tonight, but I'm going to definitely add stars around her head. And I just think that adding those extra details really makes it special. There's things about this drawing I like. I like her gown. I like this detail that I did here. I used the symmetry button in a floral pattern. I can show you how that happened. It was on this, let's see. It's using this symmetry, and I believe I used this radial pattern. I did, because it's still there. And let me see if I can go up close and show you. You see those blue lines? If I go really big, you might be able to see those blue lines. That's my guideline for the symmetry. And I'll just actually go ahead and, because I have the paintbrush open already, I'll just go ahead and show you how that works. Like if I do a dot here, hold on, where am I? I need to go on this layer. If I do a dot here, it does a dot on all of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some dots, because why not? And then I'm going to pull away so you can see. Oh, that's nice. I like that. So I took that same rose idea that I did over here in the corner and I did on the drawing I did tonight earlier, and repeated that in the pattern on the dress. I like the patterns. So now so my point being, I practiced a lot before I did a live drawing tonight. I used to teach calligraphy to a group of Waldorf students years ago, and I knew how hard it was going to be for them because they'd never drawn with ink before, ink on a free-flowing nib, free-flowing ink on a metal nib. So it was a very old-fashioned drawing lesson. And I decided as I was doing it, I knew that when I went in and I taught them how to do some letters, they were going to make a mess, and there'll be ink blots all over. I just knew it was going to be hard for them. And so what I did was I did the alphabet for them. I had it all drawn out on a sheet of paper, and then I was going to do it up on the blackboard too. And I want to get one of these going for you. So while I'm talking, you've got something playing. Let me do this. Oh, yeah, we'll do this one. This is the one I had open. I'm going to turn off the symmetry. I don't want to lose my place in my story. I'll come back to it, I promise. And I'm going to hit play all. Okay, so back to my story, which was I'm getting ready to teach these 5th graders how to do calligraphy when they hadn't done it before. And I did the whole alphabet in pen and ink on an 8.5 by 11, or it might have taken 2 pages to do it. And I had to do it perfect because it needed to be in my own hand, and then I needed to make photocopies of it to hand out to each person so they could take that alphabet home with them and practice. And in order for me to do the entire alphabet perfect on a sheet of paper without tracing it or anything like that, just like This is me doing this alphabet with a pen as if I'm a monk in a monastery in 1800, 800 AD. So it took me like 30 sheets, 30 practice sheets. So I didn't throw them away. I brought them all with me. And I went through and I showed them all my mistakes. And I hope that it made it a lot easier for those students to have blots on their paper. Because trust me, in my 30 practice sheets, I had accidents all over the place. That's why I had to do it 30 times. I could never get through the entire alphabet without a mistake. And every time I made a mistake, I started all over again at A. And that's why it took me 30 sheets. So that's my story about showing practice, showing my work to people, because it doesn't come out like this without some practice. And I think that's where I'm going to end tonight. And I really want to thank everybody. Oh, I got to check the comments. Russian! I'm good. Okay, she found me. She says, how are you? I'm good. How are you, Russian? What are you doing? I'm drawing an angel. I'm getting really good at art because of you. Oh my gosh, you just made my day. You made my day. We have different times, so it's later for me, and I have a soccer game tomorrow, so I have to go to sleep. I love your drawings. It inspired me to do art. Thank you. Good night. All right. Good night, Russian. I'm sorry I didn't read all the comments. I said hello to you, but I didn't read all the comments before you had to leave. Well, just so everybody knows, I publish my lives. So the live stream everyone can see, and then when I get done, I hit end, and then it makes it private. And I go back in after, because it has to somehow process it on the YouTube site. So I go back in later, an hour or two later, and I make it public. And so you can always go back and find my lives by searching through my channel. You have to subscribe in order to do that, though, because then you can look in your subscription list. You can find me, Maggie Bates Artist. Then you click on my channel, go in there. I will have lives, I'll have videos, and I'll have shorts. There's three different ways that YouTube categorizes the videos that I make, or anyone makes. And so the live videos, they're not live anymore, obviously, but they put them in a category that they were once live. Then regular videos are the long form videos, and then there's the shorts, which are anywhere from 15 seconds to 3 minutes long. By the way, the whole reason I got into doing YouTube was I loved to make little short videos for fun. I love making art videos, kind of like the one you're looking at right here. And so I have quite a few short art videos that you are welcome to watch if you subscribe to my channel. So I really appreciate new subscriptions to my channel, new followers. I'm trying to grow my channel to more people, so I can get this kind of work out to more people, teach more people how to draw, inspire more people to draw, like Russian, who absolutely made my day. Thank you, Russian, so much. Russian Dog Ver is her handle, and she's a great follower. We're in different time zones, but she's encouraged me to keep going, and I've encouraged her to draw. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming by tonight. And I want to give everybody a chance to hit the subscribe button, to please hit the like button. It'll help the algorithm find me and get me out to more people. It's a challenge. There's a lot of people on YouTube, and YouTube measures what we do with the algorithm, and it measures it by how many people like your video, how many people subscribe, how long do people stay on and watch your video. And you can have a really good video and still not have it shot out to thousands of people. It might only go out to 20 people, or it might only go out to, 100 people. I have a lot of videos that have hit between 500 and 600 views, but I have only a few who've got videos that have gone over a couple thousand or 8,000. I'm very honored when that happens. That means people really liked what I did, and I look forward to some more of those videos, but I need followers. So thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I am going to say goodnight and go eat some late dinner. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.